All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome. Honored to be with you all today, and just want to thank everybody for joining us. It's great to see you. We've enjoyed your time away since session ended. I'm also honored to be with our great First Lady, Marty Kemp. And we're both very thankful for the great legislative partners that you see beside me and behind me, and certainly want to acknowledge our Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Thank you very much for your work this session, Lieutenant Governor. Chairman Matt Hatchett, the House Appropriations Chairman. Chairman Hatchett has done a lot of great work with this budget, and certainly want to thank all the members of the General Assembly that you see behind us and those that are not with us today. But we just appreciate the bipartisan support that overwhelmingly voted for this common sense and proud to say balanced budget. I also want to thank Speaker John Burns and Chairman Blake Tillery. Obviously, Speaker Burns was a great partner in this process, and Chairman Tillery of the House Appropriations Committee couldn't be with us today. He had a family commitment, but I was texting with him earlier and thanked him for his work on the budget, and I know Speaker Burns is out of town, but we had several days last week where we were on the road together working with some of our federal partners, but also signing a lot of legislative bills down on the coast, and I just appreciate his partnership so much. I want to thank our constitutional officers who are with us today that are great partners in our business environment and making government work every day in our state, safeguarding taxpayer money and keeping our government lean and efficient. I also want to thank all the agency heads that are with us that have just done an incredible job being good stewards of the resources that the General Assembly is appropriating. And also just want to acknowledge OPB Director Rick Dunn and his team, as well as the House and Senate budget staff. They did a great job this year. Thank you all. The budget that we will sign represents our state's priorities and is a direct result of all these individuals' hard work and certainly dedication. Today I'll sign the budget for fiscal year 2026, a budget that makes important investments to meet the needs of our growing state without growing government or adding to our long-term liabilities. It represents an impact across so many different areas of our state, including investments in education, public safety, health care, infrastructure, and much, much more. Through this budget, we're again fully funding our schools. We're also committing over $300 million additional dollars for enrollment and expense growth for our K-12 education. Almost $50 million to promote our students' mental health and well-being, $13 million in new funding to improve literacy for our elementary students, $267 million to fund higher education growth at the university and technical college systems, furthering their ability to provide the workforce that we need to meet the demand that we have, $20 million to replace 227 school buses, over $141 million to fund the Promise Scholarship Program, delivering on the promise we made last year to students and families who deserve an education that is right for them. We're also working to promote the health and well-being of all Georgians, with $257 million additional dollars in support for Medicaid and Peach Care for Kids expense and enrollment growth, just in case anyone out there continues to try to tell people we are not spending more on Medicaid every single year. $10 million for significant capital repairs at our state hospitals. Over $5 million for salary enhancements for social service eligibility caseworkers, which is building on previous pay raises for these critical employees. Over $4.5 million to improve maternal health. In fiscal year 2026, we're also building on our past work to make Georgia safer, to keep our communities and businesses secure, and to take criminals off the streets. This budget includes $200 million for the Department of Corrections to increase corrections officer salaries and number of positions, to increase salaries of non-security staff, and to meet other operational needs that will make our prisons safer. This was a priority both for my administration, but also the leaders in the legislature, and I am proud that we work together to deliver these results. Other key investments in public safety within the budget include over $1.7 million $1.7 million for additional positions in technology at the GBI crime labs across the state, over $1 million for 2 crime scene technical leaders and 3 digital forensic investigators, $1 million for a gang case management system and gang enforcement efforts statewide, over $268,000 for Attorney General Chris Carr to expand the gang prosecution unit in the Savannah region, and over $748,000 to expand the human trafficking prosecution unit to the Macon and Augusta regions, and over $421,000 to improve operations of the 24/7 hotline to report human trafficking and serve victims through the CJCC, a measure that was championed by our First Lady, Marty Kemp. Last but not least, this budget makes considerable investments in infrastructure statewide, an important factor in keeping us the best place for business and opportunity. With $290 million in additional funding going toward transportation projects and $715 million going to capital projects, including some for K-12 schools, we are using funds we have had from years of growth to build stronger communities and encourage further investments and success. I am especially proud we're doing so for the 2nd straight year with cash, meaning 2 straight years that we have not added any new debt. That brings our state's debt service to revenue ratio to the lowest in state history. And ultimately, it means we'll save taxpayers $150 million per year for the next 20 years in future debt service costs that we won't have to pay, on top of the billions saved in tax refunds and tax cuts that we've implemented over the last several years. We're able to take these steps because of our conservative approach to budgeting. We don't follow the paths of states like California, New York, Illinois, Maryland, and others. They're growing government and raising taxes to cover budget deficits. Here in Georgia, we're keeping government in check, cutting taxes and returning money to where it belongs, back to hardworking Georgians. We balance our budgets and encourage economic growth statewide without growing government. That's thanks to this team that you see up here that is committed to being good stewards of what Georgians have entrusted us with. So thank you all again for helping us keep Georgia the best place to live, work, and raise a family through budgets like this. Now it's an honor to turn it over to a person that worked very hard this legislative session on a lot of things that we got done, including this budget, our Lieutenant Governor, the Honorable Burt Jones.
Thank you. Good morning, and number one, I want to thank the governor. Thank you, Governor Kemp, for all your leadership during this process. It goes without saying that in order to get anything done, it always takes strong leadership. And as we continue to grow as a state, our budget continues to grow. I think we have done a fantastic job of approaching it with a common sense approach, a very conservative approach. And it's easy when you have like-minded people who are working on this, like the Speaker Burns, like Chairman Hatchett and Chairman Tillery. I think we address a lot of things pertaining to, number one, being fiscally conservative, but also on the health care front, the transportation front, and the education as well, which I was very proud of, that we were funding our Promise Scholarship, which we worked very hard on in the Senate, and that was a priority for us, as well as fully funding QBE for K through 12 public school system. So the work that was done by Chairman Hatchett and Chairman Tillery, really, I can't say enough about how well these two work together, and the group that the team that they have around them, who put in countless hours to make this budget possible. We just want to thank them. We want to thank the legislatures in both the House and the Senate for all their hard work. We do our best to try to accommodate each and every legislator and their needs in their districts, but we always try to prioritize what is in the best interest for the whole as a state and our citizens. So thank you very much, Governor Kemp. Thank you, Speaker Burns. Chairman Hatchett, I know, is here on his behalf, and I can tell you Senator Tillery, Chairman Tillery, and his team have done a fantastic job. Can't say enough about the leadership in these two chambers, and it's just been a pleasure to work with them this year, and happy to sign this into law. So congratulations, Governor, and congratulations, Chairman Hatchett. I know you're here on behalf of the Speaker and your chamber, so y'all put in all the hard work, so I'll let you get into the details of it. So thank y'all very much.
Well, good morning. Good morning. On behalf of Speaker Burns and the entire House of Representatives, y'all get ready for this. You know what I know? It's a great day to be a Georgian. We're incredibly proud to celebrate yet another year of passing historic tax cuts and returning over $1 billion back to hardworking Georgians, all while making strategic, fiscally responsible investments in the areas that matter most to keep our state the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you, Governor Kemp, for your leadership and unwavering dedication to the people of our state. I also want to thank all the staff in the House Budget and Research Office and our partners in the Senate for working tirelessly with the House to deliver a budget that reflects our commitment to championing every Georgian in every corner of the state. Chairman Tillery is where he should be this morning. He's with his son at the final day of school before summer break, and I thank him for his cooperation on this budget also. This year, Speaker Burns and the House made school safety and student mental health our top priorities, and we're proud to include funding for both of these initiatives. HB 68 includes over $6.9 million for qualified student advocacy specialists to identify and facilitate resources for students in crisis, connecting them to the services they need when they need it the most. Additionally, the budget includes $19.5 million to establish student mental health support grants for middle and high schools. We're also proud to have built on our work to provide school security funding to every school across the state by including $108 million in this year's budget, in addition to the $50 million for school security grants and $1.5 million for GEMA's school threat assessment system included in the amended fiscal year 2025 budget. We've also continued to deliver on our commitment to strengthen literacy resources and ensure that every child in Georgia can read on level by the third grade by investing $22.7 million to improve literacy outcomes in every public school. Improving access to health care also continues to be a top priority for Speaker Burns and the House, especially for Georgia's growing families and new mothers. That's why we're proud to include nearly $3 million to expand Georgia's home visiting program from 50 to 75 counties and $1.3 million for 6 perinatal regional centers to increase access to maternal and neonatal health care. We also made significant investments in our state prison system to strengthen security and make improvements to our facilities, keep our corrections officers safe on the job, and ensure inmates have continued access to quality physical, dental, and mental health care services. Last year, Speaker Burns announced the creation of the Special Subcommittee on Appropriations on State Prisons. That committee will continue to monitor our investments in our prison facilities and ensure we're taking the necessary steps to keep Georgians and our heroes in law enforcement safe. From education and health care to infrastructure, economic development, and public safety, this budget uplifts every Georgian and every community across our state, making a real difference in the lives of our citizens and securing a brighter future for our great state. Thank you, Governor Kemp and Speaker Burns, for allowing me to say a few words on the Speaker's behalf this morning. And now, Governor, let's get this budget signed. I'm with you, Governor. Thank you.
All right, great remarks, Chairman Hatchett. Thank you for that. Lieutenant Governor Jones, thank you again for your leadership. The rest of the House and Senate leadership that is here, the members and the executive branch agencies, just thank y'all so much for all that you have done to make us have a great legislative session, and I think this budget just even furthers that sentiment. So that we'll move to the table, get the First Lady up here, and we'll sign this budget. Thank y'all very much.